Homicide 1902, the case of 21-year-old Henry Beels. Henry Beels was convicted of the manslaughter of Herbert Murray Spicer. Herbert Spicer had been living with a friend who was a bank clerk at 22 Woburn Place in London. On the evening of the 2nd of June 1902, they went out to see the illuminations in the West End for the peace celebrations and left at about 12:30 a.m, getting home at about 1:45 a.m. When they got back, they didn't go home, but went to the coffee stall at the end of Woburn Place, where it joined Euston Road. The friend said that he went to get a coffee and was away for about 3 minutes, and when he returned to the place where Herbert Spicer had been standing, he saw that he was surrounded by about 4 or 5 men in dark clothes, with caps and mufflers. The friend said that they were talking, when one of the men struck Herbert Spicer, and there was a fight. The friend said that he rushed at the men, and was kicked in the stomach, but managed to knock one of the men down. He said that they managed to get out of the middle of the road and retreated about 20 yards towards Woburn Place, when he said he heard one of the men shout, "Kick them!" He said that they passed St Pancras Church and were near the electric lamp at the corner of Woburn Place and Ensley Gardens when he saw one of the men draw a belt. The friend said that he then told Herbert Spicer that they should cut for it, and that Herbert Spicer had agreed, and they turned and ran in the direction of Upper Woburn Place. The friend said that Herbert Spicer couldn't run very fast due to a foot wound he received in South Africa, and that they had to drag him by the arm. He said that whilst they were trying to run away, Herbert Spicer was hit over the head by the belt and fell on his face in the road opposite the corner of Ensley Gardens. The friend said that all the men then ran off along Euston Road. A schoolmaster who lived in Woburn Buildings, St Pancras, said that he was by St Pancras Church when he saw the fight. He said that he saw Herbert Spicer standing on his own by the coffee stall and saw a group of about 5 men go up to him, and said that he then saw them pushing and striking him, adding that he had not seen Herbert Spicer doing anything to them. He said that he saw the friend join Herbert Spicer, and said that he then saw them both retreating from the fight. He said he saw a man with a belt hit Herbert Spicer, and said that they had passed very close to him, and that he had no trouble in identifying the man, as he had kept an eye on him all the time, and identified him in court. He said that the group of men scattered when a trap drove up. Herbert Spicer was taken to University College Hospital at 2:20 a.m. in an unconscious and comatose state. The only visible injury was a single cut behind the left eye, which was quite deep. It was determined that he had a fractured skull, and an operation was carried out, which improved his condition, although he never regained consciousness. However, he later died on the 4th of June 1902. His post-mortem showed that he had over 12 separate fractures to his skull, and that his brain was slightly bruised, and that he had been bleeding between his brain and his skull. The doctor said that the fractures seemed to radiate from the injury behind the left front eye, which extended like a wheel or star, and said that he didn't think that they could have been caused by a blow from a belt, but rather from a fall, such as a helpless man falling. Between the 3rd and 6th of June 1902, a description of the man wanted for the murder of Herbert Spicer was circulated in the police information bulletin, and the policeman saw it, and later on the 6th of June 1902, whilst off duty in plain clothes in Euston Road, just outside the White Hart, near St Pancras railway station, he saw 2 men and a woman, and overheard their conversation, which led him to keep them under observation. He said he followed them for about 3 to 4 minutes, and they went into Derry Street, Gray's Inn Road. After, he said he told his inspector, and they went back to the house on the 7th of June 1902, and knocked on the door, which was opened by Henry Beels, who let them in. He told him that he matched the description of a man that they were looking for, and arrested him. Henry Beels denied being the man that hit Herbert Spicer. He said that he had got home at 4:45 p.m. and had gone to bed at 7 p.m, as he had to get up early for work the next day. He said that a friend called whilst he was in bed and asked if he wanted to go and see the peace illuminations, but he said that he couldn't, as he had to be at work. He said that he got up at 2:30 a.m. and had not left his house between 4:45 p.m. and 2:30 a.m. He said that he had his breakfast and a couple of cigarettes, and then went to work at 3:40 a.m. at Covent Garden Market, where he arrived at 4 a.m. and worked the whole day. He said that he had not been near Woburn Place or St Pancras Church on the night, He also said that his right arm was withered and he couldn't use it. He also said that he wasn't identified fairly, as there were no other dark men in the lineup that he was placed in. However, Henry Beels was convicted of manslaughter, and the jury highly commended the off-duty policeman for his conduct, which the court concurred with, and he was awarded £10. Henry Beels was sentenced to 7 years penal servitude.